Today, I'm taking you through the National Museum of Korea, one of the largest museums in Asia. To see this museum floor by floor, it could easily take you a full day or even multiple days. But don't worry, I've selected 9 must-see artifacts that will give you the essence of Korean history and culture. Following my guide, you should be able to complete this tour in about 3 to 4 hours. I'm Jun from Gamjainseoul, your licensed tour guide here in Seoul. Let's begin our journey through 4,300 years of Korean heritage. Artifact number 1, the Acheulean Handaxe, rewriting human history. Our first stop is the Stone Age room. You can skip most other artifacts here, but I want you to pay close attention to this seemingly simple stone tool, the Acheulean Handaxe. Now if you're an archaeologist, please correct me if I'm wrong, but here's why this artifact is absolutely groundbreaking. For decades, archaeologists believed that Acheulean Handaxes, one of the most advanced stone tools of the Paleolithic age, were only found in Africa and Europe. This led to a theory called the Mobius line, which suggested that Asian civilization started much later and that East Asia may have even skipped the Paleolithic era entirely. But in 1978, everything changed. Greg Bowen, a US soldier stationed in Korea who had studied archaeology in college, discovered this handaxe near the Hantan River in Jeonggongli while on a date with his future Korean wife. This single discovery proved that the old world, Africa, Europe, and Asia, share similar technological advancements dating back 200,000 to 300,000 years ago, completely overturning the Mobius line theory. This humble stone tool rewrote our understanding of human technological evolution. Pretty amazing for something that fits in your palm, right? Artifact number 2, Silla gold crown and gold belt, a gift for president. Our second artifact is the magnificent Silla gold crown and gold waist belt. Now here's the thing, depending on the timing of your visit, you may or may not be able to see this treasure. For example, when I visited, I was unlucky and the artifact was on loan to another museum. But for most of the time, you should be able to see this. Let me give you some context. Silla was one of the 3 kingdoms of ancient Korea, existing from 57 BC to 935 AD. Silla is particularly significant because it was the kingdom that unified the Korean peninsula in 668 AD, creating what we call the Unified Silla period. Does this crown look familiar? You might have seen it on TV. In 2025, Korea gifted President Trump a replica of this exact crown during his visit. The original crown features tree-shaped and antler-shaped decorations, symbolizing the sacred connection between the king and the heavens. It's one of only 6 Silla gold crowns ever discovered, and represents the power and prestige of ancient Korean royalty. If you wish to explore more about this artifact, you should check out Gyeongju Museum. That's where this crown and other crowns were found. Gyeongju was the capital city of Silla Kingdom for almost 1,000 years, so you can find most of Silla artifacts in that museum. Artifact number 3, 10-story stone pagoda from Gyeongcheonsa Temple, a journey across borders. Our third artifact stands alone at the end of the hallway, the 10-story stone pagoda from Gyeongcheonsa Temple. You might be wondering, why is this massive outdoor structure inside a museum? This pagoda was built in 1348 during the Goryeo dynasty as part of Gyeongcheonsa Temple in Kaesong City, which is now in North Korea. It stood peacefully at the temple site for nearly 560 years. But in 1907, just 3 years before Korea was officially colonized by Japan, a Japanese officer illegally dismantled and smuggled it to Japan. 11 years later in 1918, international pressure forced Japan to return it, and it was placed in the courtyard of Gyeongbokgung Palace here in Seoul, not to its original location in North Korea. It could have stayed at Gyeongbokgung Palace, but there was a problem. The pagoda is made of marble, and years of exposure to acid rain began seriously damaging it. So in 2005, the Korean government decided to move it indoors to preserve this national treasure. Here's the ironic twist. If the Japanese officer hadn't stolen it, this magnificent pagoda would still be in North Korea today, possibly destroyed or inaccessible. Sometimes, history works in truly mysterious ways. Artifact number 4, Daedongyeojido, Korea's masterpiece map. Our fourth artifact is the breathtaking Daedongyeojido, or the Map of Korea, created by the legendary cartographer Kim Jong-ho in 1861. Look at the scale and incredible detail of this map. The complete height is 6.7 meters. That's almost 22 feet tall. All those lines that look almost like a human circulatory system, those are mountains. And if you didn't know, 70% of the Korean peninsula is mountainous, which is why Korea has such dramatic landscapes. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary. It's not just the map itself, but the wooden printing blocks used to create it. Imagine the painstaking work of carving wooden plates precise enough to produce a 6.7 meter long map. This wasn't just for geographic purposes. The Daedongyeojido recorded detailed information about local politics, administration, military infrastructure, and most importantly, economic data for accurate text collection. It was essentially a comprehensive database of the entire Joseon kingdom, years before GPS and computer existed. The full version is so tall they could only install it in the hallway, not in a regular exhibition room. When all 22 volumes are unfolded and aligned, it creates a giant map measuring 6.7 meters in height and 3.8 meters in width. It's Korea's answer to Google Maps, 19th century style. Now let's head up to the second floor, where we'll explore specially curated thematic spaces. Artifact number 5, Room of Quiet Contemplation, 2 national treasures in sacred silence. Our fifth stop is one of the most spiritually moving spaces in the entire museum, the Room of Quiet Contemplation. Here, 2 gilt bronze pensive bodhisattva statues from the late 6th and the early 7th centuries sit side by side, both designated as national treasures. As you walk through a dark, hushed corridor, you enter what feels like a transcendent, almost surreal space designed specifically for deep contemplation. The term quiet contemplation here refers to sayu in Korean, a state of profound meditation on the fundamental questions of human existence: birth, aging, sickness, and death. The serene, subtle smile on each bodhisattva's face symbolizes that brief moment of enlightenment and awakening. These statues depict bodhisattvas in the iconic pensive pose, seated with one leg crossed over the other knee, with one hand gently touching the cheek in deep thought. One pro tip here: if you come early in the morning, you can experience this room in genuine quiet contemplation. But if you come around lunchtime, expect crowds. This is one of the museum's most popular spaces. Artifact number 6, the Royal Protocols of the Oegyujanggak, stolen, found, and finally home. Our 6th artifact has one of the most dramatic modern histories, the Royal Protocols of the Oegyujanggak, Oegyujanggak Uigwe. These are meticulously illustrated records of major royal ceremonies and state events from the Joseon dynasty. Most were created as oramnyong, copies made specifically for the king to review, and were crafted using the finest silk covers, highest quality paper, and exquisite calligraphy. The artistic and historical value is immense. We're talking about 297 volumes documenting 500 years of Joseon royal protocols in extraordinary detail. In 2007, the entire collection was designated a UNESCO Memory of the World. But here's the heartbreaking part. In 1866, during the French invasion, French forces looted these precious books from Oegyujanggak, the royal library on Ganghwa Island. The books were taken to France and forgotten in a warehouse at the National Library of France, BNF. It wasn't until 1975 that a Korean scholar discovered them. After decades of diplomatic negotiations between the Korean government and cultural organizations, the books finally returned to Korea in 2011, 145 years after being stolen, through a unique arrangement called a permanent loan renewable every 5 years. So technically, they still belong to the French government on paper, but they're home in Korea where they belong. You can now view 500 years of Joseon royal history beautifully displayed in this dedicated gallery. It's also a famous photo spot, so make sure to capture your visit. One note here: I was having a really unlucky day. The entire exhibition area was under renovation, so I couldn't visit, just like the Silla gold crown from the first floor. Artifact number 7, Ancient Greek Bronze Helmet, an Olympic treasure from 1936. Our 7th artifact seems completely out of place in a Korean museum, an ancient Greek Corinthian bronze helmet from the 6th century BC. So how did a 2600-year-old Greek helmet end up here? The answer is both inspiring and poignant. At the 1936 Berlin Olympics, Korean marathon runner Son Gi-jung won the gold medal. This helmet, which had been excavated in 1875 by German archaeologists at Olympia, was awarded to him as his prize. This type of Corinthian helmet is iconic in ancient Greek warfare. It covered the entire head except for the eyes and mouth. Remarkably, this is one of the few examples that survived in near-perfect condition. Songjang's victory was bittersweet. Korea was under Japanese colonial rule at the time, so he was forced to compete under the Japanese flag and a Japanese name. Despite this humiliation, he remained proud of his Korean identity. After Korea's liberation, he generously donated this priceless helmet to the nation, saying, "This helmet doesn't belong to me. It belongs to our people." And it is now placed in the museum's donation gallery. Speaking of donations, this entire room features treasures donated by generous individuals. Most notably, it includes numerous masterpieces from Lee Gun-hee, former and passed away chairman of Samsung, who donated over 23,000 artworks to the Korean nation in 2021. His collection, valued at 2 to 3 trillion won, over 1.4 billion US dollars, includes national treasures and works spanning 500 years of Korean art history. Take your time exploring this room. It's filled with extraordinary pieces. Let's continue our journey to the third floor, where we'll explore Korea's artistic legacy. Artifact number 8, Buddhist Sculpture Gallery, the Art of Enlightenment. If you're moved by the pensive bodhisattvas in the Room of Quiet Contemplation, you absolutely must visit the Buddhist Sculpture Gallery here on the third floor. This collection showcases the pinnacle of Korean Buddhist art from various dynasties, including standing bodhisattvas, seated Buddhas, and guardian figures. Each sculpture tells a story of devotion, craftsmanship, and the spiritual journey toward enlightenment. The serene expressions, flowing robes, and intricate details demonstrate why Korean Buddhist sculpture is considered among the finest in East Asia. Take your time here. These are not just religious artifacts, they're masterpieces of human artistic achievement. Artifact number 9, Goryeo Celadon and Joseon moon jars, the evolution of Korean aesthetics. Our ninth and final highlight takes us through two distinctive periods of Korean ceramic art, Goryeo Celadon and Joseon white porcelain moon jars. Goryeo dynasty was a dynasty after the three ancient kingdoms and before Joseon dynasty. Goryeo Celadon, with its signature jade green glaze and intricate inlaid decorations, was so prized that Chinese Song dynasty scholars praise it as the first under heaven. Look at the elegant curves, the nature-inspired patterns of cranes and clouds, and that mesmerizing blue-green color that seems to glow from within. Now compare that to the Joseon dynasty moon jars right next door. What a contrast, right? The moon jar, 달항아리 in Korean, got its name from its resemblance to a full moon. But here's what makes it truly special. It's intentionally imperfect. These large white porcelain jars embody the Joseon aesthetic philosophy of 거미불로 화이불치, which means simple but not shabby, splendid but not extravagant. Unlike factory-made perfection, moon jars embrace their asymmetry. The two halves were thrown separately on a potter's wheel and then joined together, creating slight wobbles and irregularities. This human touch makes each jar unique, just like our lives. No matter how perfect a life may seem, when you look closely, you'll find bumps and imperfections. That's what makes it beautifully, authentically human. This philosophy represents a profound shift from Goryeo's ornate elegance to Joseon's refined simplicity, both equally magnificent in their own ways. Alright, let's be honest. Many of you came here for the gift shop, right? I don't blame you. The National Museum of Korea gift shop is fantastic. The main gift shop is located on the first floor, but there are also smaller gift shops scattered between exhibition galleries on different floors. If you can't find what you're looking for in the main shop, definitely check the smaller ones. They often carry unique and sold out items. Everything sold here is made in Korea, ensuring high quality while supporting Korean artists and small workshops. The museum shop reinterprets Korean cultural heritage in modern, practical designs. You'll find everything from traditional craft-inspired stationery to contemporary jewelry featuring museum artifacts. You can shop before or after your museum tour, but I personally recommend visiting the gift shop last. That way, you'll know which artifacts resonated with you most, and you can find souvenirs that carry real meaning from your visit. As for dining, I'll be honest with you. I personally recommend eating outside the museum. The museum does have a food court on the first floor next to the gift shop if you're really hungry, but Seoul has amazing restaurants nearby that offer better value and authentic Korean cuisine. I've created a curated Naver Map bookmark collection of recommended restaurants and cafes near the National Museum of Korea. The link is in the description below. Please note that it includes both full restaurants and cafes, so check the type before heading there. And that's it! We've just explored thousands of years of Korean history through 9 incredible artifacts. Acheulean Handaxe, rewriting human history. Silla gold crown, royal splendor and presidential gift. 10-story stone pagoda, a journey across borders. Daedongyeojido, Korea's geographic masterpiece. Room of quiet contemplation. Buddhist enlightenment in art. Oegyujanggak royal protocols. Stolen and returned heritage. Ancient Greek helmet, an Olympic hero's gift. Buddhist sculpture gallery. The art of enlightenment. Goryeo Celadon and Joseon moon jars. The evolution of Korean aesthetics. Just a heads up, the National Museum of Korea is scheduled to change its hours starting March 16th, 2026. Admission is free at the moment, but it'll cost you in the future. They haven't announced the date and price yet. Whether you're a history buff, art lover, or a curious traveler, this museum offers an unforgettable journey through Korea's rich cultural heritage. Don't just visit Korea, understand it. If you found this guide helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to Gamjainseoul for more deep dives into Korean culture, history, and hidden stories. Drop a comment below and let me know which artifact fascinated you the most. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.